purchase price of 90 cents can be sold more than $10. Although hard money must be to find the most reliable people to pay him, I'm going to operate. I'm going to try what burst. I'll sell what? As long as there is money to be made, I'll be crazy to release a wave of the wealth of the free.
It's a kind of where you're from.
I went to college in Nanyang, Henan province, and graduated in Henan province. After graduating, I worked for almost a year and started my own business.
And who was it that suggested it?
When my customer said you work in the company, I think you're a good person. Even if you take my order to another company, it's okay. But I want to do it myself. Is not also possible.
Then you remember your first client.
He is a customer in Guangdong. His goods were inspected. Can I help him to deal with the inspection? And then bring the goods before and after more than 20 days? He paid our company nearly more than 20 yuan of service fees. We were just in time to start the business in 2008. The financial crisis, the main customer is the shipping customers were very affected.
In 2010, logistics was profitable or not? How much could it earn?
Later, we originally made a cabinet, maybe $200 difference behind us on the dissolution of the I just lie in the room to sleep after 2 days of sleep, woke up to think about things. I think it's hard to do a thing. You have no way to give up. There is a sense of reluctance.
What decision did you make back there?
I feel that my industry may not be suitable for me then because it will soon be 11, and then I want to go home, to go back to my hometown. After a coincidence that we belong to the children of the oil field hometown, there is an opportunity to say that you can come to work. I think it can be, or I'll go to work. I think it's very simple to face the face of the home for 2 or 3 months. I continue to go out to the workplace or start a business, or slowly on 1 year or 2 years. I was in the hole in the rock monster on the 9 years of work.
Why did you stay in such a cozy circle for so long?
I've done a lot of things to start a family, to give the kids a stable childhood and some company.
Did you try anything else at the time?
With 1 or 4 years have contact with the e-commerce, began to try to do Taobao, and then 1 or 5 years to contact the micro merchants.
Why did you start Taobao and then micro business in the first 4 years?
Because of Taobao, I was doing is an ordinary C-store. My goods are also let others on behalf of the hair, is to earn a little pocket money. Micro business, because my circle of friends, there is a person, I found him every day in the circle of friends. I found a consultation, found that I have not heard of it. Then, or I will try it into the 12 bottles of shampoo to try and really someone to buy it. I think that this is also a business from the beginning of the place. Slowly began to start a case or 2 cases of 10 cases of 8 cases of several hundred cases of the beginning of the start of the do. I've got it.
So how much do you make in micro business?
Small hundreds of thousands of dollars, less than $1 million is there, if you are fully committed to do this wave of wealth freedom.
Then why didn't you zoom in?
I think one of the big hang-ups is that you're still working.
So what makes you think I'm gonna quit?
But I think since I can earn money to change a larger environment, big track, I cannot earn more money at that time. I have an idea. I think the internet for me is an opportunity to do Alibaba. When I met a customer, this customer is very strange. He did not have any requirements. He let the goods sent to a certain place. I said, where do you sell this? Did not pay attention to me. The second time I asked, the third time and asked again, said I was in the Facebook promotion to build an independent site. I think a lot of people have not heard of. Maybe an opportunity. Facebook promotion. Built an independent site. Began to go crazy to understand. I think many people have not heard of it. Maybe an opportunity.
What did the family think?
I've actually been working on it slowly since 2018, and they've stopped trying to talk me out of it because I'm so determined.
When did you come to Shenzhen?
I was in July 4, 2019 on the bright stage, 2.5 months. In fact, the fastest way to enter an industry must be to find the most reliable people, the most reliable an organization to pay him. You put the core of the things, tell me to go to the operation. I came to try at the time to do the Facebook casting flow, to go.
Do you sell your own products or do you have to choose another product?
I'll sell whatever I buy and I'll put up volume as long as there's money to be made.
I didn't lose any money when I got the result.
Because we're going to burn advertising money before we collect money before we ship.
That's how much you paid in tuition for the whole year.
$3 there.
So for 9 years you've been going home for New Year's Eve without making a profit or a loss. So what did you do when you came up after New Year's Eve?
The year when there was an epidemic had been our New Year's Eve. All things are full because of the epidemic. Independent station. Business is very good. On the contrary, at that time, we made a magic nano stickers you cook when sticking in the kitchen in the bathroom. When you can stick on the wall above the purchase price of 90 cents. We can sell more than $10 at that time. For our feeling is like printing the money, like.
Then do you remember one day the highest number of orders reached how many orders? More than 600. At that time there is not through some more dramatic operation.
No, we were on a pay-per-view basis.
So what happened next?
Next, it began to expand wildly in Europe, and the United States market is also doing, including the Brazilian market is also doing. The Brazilian independent station, when we came up to do, is the vertical station. Our peak time also has a 40 or 50 people in the beginning of last year. The entire independent station industry has encountered some of the red goods encountered in some of the freezes of the insurance.
Were they involved at the time?
We're just falling down halfway down the aisle on a...
What was the maximum amount of money you could have frozen at that time?
The account of more than $1 million on the field at this kind of play heartbeat, play this kind of money, this kind of flow of business may not be suitable for us in the TK. Just out of the time we will also be in the above advertisement. We found that TK's effectiveness is slowly getting better. I think it is an opportunity.
When was the last time you were exposed to Jitterbug?
In 2020, contact with Jittery Voice, we were doing Europe and the United States market to stay up all night to open the lifetime, because in Shenzhen, he will push you some with your interests, more consistent with the people. We slowly began to turn the energy to the TK above.
When will you start to officially increase your investment in TK?
To 222 years of that one. We think the domestic Jittery, live, good, fierce. I want to synchronize us in the TK on the live broadcast. We think it is very simple. I open the live broadcast, live room. Someone asked me to my independent station link through him to let him go to the order on the line, but the traffic is very poor. Are to see the fun of the later in 2 years when he slowly, this platform tends to be a target line bit to build a person. We began to try to do the live broadcast of TK. The live broadcast, but live began to step on the pit. We stepped on the first pit on the real live to do as a small live room in Southeast Asia. Maybe an anchor, an assistant, a fixed cost of operation. It will be in the 27,000 or so, your target market of the princess of the human condition. You are not familiar with some of our live broadcasting ways and means in the local inappropriate. Instead of is the flat broadcasting is the most suitable.
Jitterbug is now doing a good job of live streaming to sell goods and want to get involved in this TK, this live streaming field. What is the difference between...
But you don't want to come up here and put in all this work.
Are there any pitfalls when looking for a supply chain after physical and financial selection?
Force, because TK's products, it is very easy to burst it. Burst after your supply chain will not be able to keep up with this situation is very nasty. And one is the product life cycle must be good. Because once you start to go to place a large order, when there may be a risk of your coming, because the whole platform is also, in the development of the change, is also relatively large.
What are your predictable challenges, TK?
Because of the volatility of the TK platform, some of its projects are very fast. Most people think of pouring in. We started to hone our team, to hone our process. When you are ready to go all in 2 or 3 months, when the platform said this project I do not want to do, this is one of the biggest challenges we now do. TK, all the teams face. One of the solutions is very simple. We are multiple projects, and then all teams have to have a main project and a phase of the project to go forward.
Stages of the project to go with. The previous to do this is the platform itself. Characteristics of the reverse to make us have to adapt to it. This you in the past 10 years you start a business. The most difficult time is when?
I remember last year when suddenly the capital chain problems that day in Longhua, we put the company's partners all settled at that moment. I think it is my most difficult time. But you feel as if 20 or 30 people are doing a thing. Suddenly this thing cannot be done on the psychological impact is very big.